Welcome to Shelbrook Speaks Out, where we explore ideas, thoughts, and perspectives purely from our own point of view. Please note that the discussions in this podcast are based on personal opinions and should not be taken as professional advice or factual information. We encourage you to think critically, do your own research, and form your own conclusions. Thanks for tuning in, and let's dive into today's topic. Welcome back to Shelbrook Speaks Out, where we tackle life's biggest questions, reflect on what it means to be human, and hopefully leave you feeling a little more inspired, a little more focused, and even a little more curious. I'm your host, Ben Shelbrook, and today's topic might be one of the biggest one of them all. What is the meaning of life? Now, this question has been asked by everyone from ancient philosophers to kids on a playground. No matter how old we get or how much we learn, it's a question that never truly goes away. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to. The meaning of life isn't some hidden treasure at the end of a map, it's a journey. And that journey is as much about the questions we asked as it is about the answers that we discover. So let's take this journey together. And by the end of the episode, I hope to leave you with some insights, a few actionable steps, and maybe a little inspiration to find or create your own meaning in life. Let's start with the obvious. Why do we even ask, what's the meaning of life? For as long as humans have walked this earth, we've been driven by curiosity. That drive has led us to explore the stars, dive into the depths of the ocean, and invent things that seemed impossible just a few decades ago. But no matter how much progress we make, we keep circling back to this question. And I think it's because life is unpredictable. It's full of highs, it's full of lows, and everything mixed in between. When things are going well, we might not stop to wonder why we're here. But when we're faced with challenges, loss, or even a moment of quiet reflection, that question creeps back in. What's it all for? I remember the first time I really wrestled with this question. It wasn't during a moment of joy or triumph. It was during a time of loss. Losing someone close to me forced me to confront the fragility of life. It made me ask, what does it all mean? Why do some people's lives seem so short, while others seem so long? And more importantly, what am I doing with the time that I have? If you're listening to this, I want you to think back to a moment when you asked yourself a similar question. What brought it on? Was it a loss? A victory? Was it just a quiet moment when life slowed down a little bit? These moments matter because they remind us of the meaning of life isn't static. It's something we discover and rediscover as we go. So let's zoom out for a minute and look at how different cultures, philosophies, and belief systems approach the meaning of life. Religion, for example, often provides a clear framework for understanding life's purpose. In Christianity, life is about loving God and loving others, living in a way that reflects faith and gratitude. Islam emphasizes submission to the will of Allah and striving for goodness. Buddhism focuses on achieving enlightenment and breaking free from suffering. These teachings provide comfort, direction, and community for billions of people around the world. Then there's philosophy, which often it challenges us to think outside of the box. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that life has no inherent meaning, so it's up to us to create our own. Stoics, on the other hand, believe that life's meaning comes from the virtue and living in harmony with nature. Philosophers don't always agree, but that's what makes their perspective so valuable. They push us to explore our own beliefs and values. And then we have science. From a purely Biological standpoint, the meaning of life might be as simple as survival and reproduction. But for most of us, that answer feels incomplete. We're not just looking to survive, we're looking to thrive, to connect. We want to leave a mark. Here's the beauty of all these perspectives. They're not mutually exclusive. You might find meaning in your faith, your relationships, your work, or your own personal growth, or in all of the above. The lens you choose depends on your experiences, your values, and what resonates with you at this stage of life. Let me share what the meaning of life looks like for me. For me, it's all about legacy. And when I say legacy, I don't mean being famous or having my name in the history books. I mean leaving something behind that matters to the people who matter most to me. My family, my friends, and maybe even a few strangers who come across my work someday. This podcast is a big part of that. Every episode is a snapshot of how I think, how I see the world, and what I care about. It's a way of sharing my voice, not just with you, the listener, but with my family. These recordings will outlive me. They'll be here for my kids, my grandkids, and even their kids. When they listen, they won't just hear my words. They're going to hear me, my tone, my humor, my passion. My writings are another way to leave a piece of my legacy. Whether it's a book, a blog, or even a simple journal entry, my words are a way of leaving breadcrumbs. They're a record of my thoughts, my experiences, and my growth. Then there's the videos that I've made. These are more than just recordings. They're little time capsules. They capture not just my voice and face, but my essence. My family can watch these and say, that's who he was. That's what it was like to know him. And they can share that with future generations who might never meet me in person. At the core of all this is the love for my family. Everything I create is, in some way, for them. I want them to know who I was, what I believed, and how much they meant to me. Legacy for me isn't about being remembered by the world. Yeah, that'd be great, but it's truly about being remembered by the people who matter the most to me. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. What if the meaning of life isn't just about us as individuals? What if it's about how we fit into something larger than ourselves? Imagine life as a giant tapestry. Each of us is a thread. Alone, a single thread might not seem like much, but together we create something intricate and beautiful. Think about the people who have impacted your life. Maybe it's a teacher who inspired you, a friend who stood by you, or even a stranger whose kindness changed your day. Those moments, those connections, are the threads in the tapestry that remind us that even the smallest actions can ripple out in ways we'll never fully understand. This perspective can be humbling. It shifts the focus from what can I get out of life to what can I give to it. When we think about life this way, we realize that our actions, no matter how small, matter. They matter to the people around us, to our communities, and the world that we leave behind. So how do you take all this and apply it to your own life? How do you find or create meaning that feels true to you? First, start by identifying what lights you up. Think about the moments when you feel most alive. Is it when you're helping others, creating something with your hands, spending time in nature? Whatever it is, make time for it. These moments are clues to what gives your life meaning. Second, embrace the fact that meaning can change. The meaning you find in your 20s might not look the same in your 50s, and that's okay. Life is about growth, and growth often means redefining what matters to you. Third, focus on connection. Life's meaning often comes from the relationships we build and the impact we have on others. Whether it's a kind word, a helping hand, or just being present, these connections create ripples that last long after we're gone. And finally, remember that meaning doesn't have to be grand. It can be found in the small, everyday moments, sharing a meal, watching a sunrise, or simply being there for someone who needs you. Never underestimate the power of these moments. They're often the most meaningful of all. So as we wrap up, here's my takeaway. The meaning of life isn't a puzzle to solve. It's a journey to live. It's about asking the right questions, making intentional choices, and finding joy in the process. So here's my challenge to you. Take some time this week to think about what gives your life meaning. Write it down, talk it out with someone, or simply just let it simmer in your mind. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone else. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for tuning in to Shelbrook Speaks Out. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep chasing what matters the most to you. See you in the next one. Be good. Well, that's it for today's episode of Shelbrook Speaks Out. A big thanks to Intertwine for providing the music. Be sure to go over and check them out on Spotify. If you've enjoyed the show, head over to benshelbrook.com where you can grab some merch and find other ways to support the podcast. You can also show your support directly by clicking the support button on our website or through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to everything are in the episode description. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next time. This is Ben Shelbrook signing off. Have a great day.